I am Juanita West Tillman, and I've lived in the Pasadena Altadena area for 72 years. And I've loved every moment of it, every day, every month, every year, until the Eaton Fire took all of our possessions. And now we're on a different journey. My family moved to the Pasadena area in the 1950s. My mother wanted to have my siblings and I to have greater opportunities, and she had an uncle who lived here who always raved about Pasadena. And so we moved here. I was just starting middle school. At that time, it was called junior high school when we moved here. And my siblings were in elementary school because they were quite a bit younger than I am. That is why we're here. It was due to my uncle's encouragement, my mother's uncle's encouragement, for us to move here. This community means home, always means home. I've traveled many places around the world, covered 6 continents, and I'm always happy to get home. The camaraderie, just the friendships, the family, and all of the things that I've been involved in this community have given me much joy, and hopefully I have given the community joy and helpfulness. My favorite memory of Pasadena is just attending school here. All of the schools and instructors that I encountered were wonderful. So going to school here and developing friendships, particularly when we first moved here, was really important. And I still have some of those lifelong friends. As a matter of fact, one of my friends lived 2 doors from us on Las Flores Drive. And we raised our families together. We went to college together, and we are still good friends. So it's been just a joy to be here. I've developed many positive relationships, many relationships that have been helpful to me, and I've, worked to improve the quality of life for Pasadena residents, particularly our children. Well, I was a teacher in the Pasadena Unified School District, and I was a teacher for about 28 years in the district. So I worked with children from primary level to middle school, but primarily at the primary level, and just always had a joyful experience helping children to find their way, helping them to develop. And then once I retired and joined our real estate company with my daughter, I was still able to help some of my past students by, helping them to be first-time home buyers. I helped families and then some of my own students, and that was just a joy. So the transition from the field of education to real estate was one that was really pleasant for me because I was able to help families to, become first-time home buyers. And in some cases, they were just relocating. Well, the day started out very pleasant. Neighbors were being the very kind neighbors that they had been for many years. We had one neighbor, it was quite windy that day, extremely high winds. One neighbor was out carrying trash cans back to into our driveways because they were blowing around on the street after they were emptied. And then another neighbor, after we lost power, had prepared dinner and they brought dinner over for us. So just want to give you a sense of the kind of community that we lived in and the people that we cherished so much. So with the high winds, we lost power just before dark. I had a nephew who came with a generator and hooked that up so that we were able to keep our refrigerator on, and we had lights and we were watching television. The winds were quite high, and then we, were getting reports about a fire in Eaton Canyon. So we kept a watch on that, and it was in the distance, we've had fires like that before, and never thinking that it was, going to get near us. So we had neighbors to come and join us because we had lights and television. And probably about midnight, we were just kind of camped out on the floor and wherever we could find a space in our house. So some of us dozed off. I dozed off, and about, I guess, probably about 2 a.m., the smell of smoke woke me up. And now mind you, we had been watching this fire all along from a big window facing northeast. And as I said, the flames were not near us at all. So about 2 o'clock, when got this heavy smell of smoke, I got up, looked out the window, and it was black, just smoke, but no flames. So I woke everybody up and said, we have to go. It's time to go. There's too much smoke. So we gathered a few things, got into our cars, and evacuated to our office in Pasadena. So, it was just horrendous, actually, as we were traveling down Fair Oaks during our evacuation. We could see paramedics and lots of ambulances lined up on Fair Oaks, where some of the convalescent homes or senior living homes are. And they were evacuating seniors. And one, would load up and pull off, and another would pull up. And then we knew that this was extremely serious. And I believe we saw some embers as we were traveling, but it was extremely dark because there was so much smoke. So we did get to our office. We got settled somewhat there, and just, waiting to see what would happen. But when we left home, we expected to be back the following day, but that didn't happen. About, I believe it was probably about 6 or 7 a.m., we learned that our house had burned along with all the other houses on the street. So, of course, that was devastating. We were just in a state of shock, not knowing what to do. And some of the family got into cars and tried to, get up to the area. One or two were successful. My daughter was one who tried to get, to the area, but there were too many embers flying all over the place. It was still windy, and she wasn't able to make it. But my son did make it up, and when he arrived, he discovered that the 3 houses had burned. We owned 4 houses on the street, and fire was coming alongside the hedges of the one that was still standing. So he jumped out of his car, he called his nephews and his dad, and asked them to try to get up there to help him to save it. So there was no water. All water had been turned off, and they used water from the toilet tanks, the toilet bowl, from the sink. They found a large bottle of water somewhere outside on the sidewalk, and then they used dirt. Of course, they found a shovel, and using dirt to, extinguish the fire. My son told me later that he even used all liquid items from the refrigerator, mustard, ketchup, anything that he could find that was liquid. And they did save one house. It still needs to be remediated, and we're in the process of having that done. But we're fortunate to have one house saved, but 3 houses, 3 that we owned, burned completely. My community and my neighborhood, what I will miss most, I believe, is the camaraderie, the feeling of safety, the beauty of our area, and just the friends and family that were close by. And it was a beautiful area, quiet community, safe community, and we cherished it. And I will miss that. It will never be the same. We're hoping that, you know, the best is yet to come, but Altadena will not be the same. My family, my friends, and just the beauty of the area. quiet and safe, and we developed lots of long-lasting, long-term relationships with neighbors and with friends. Well, my greatest fear is that Altadena will be completely changed. My hope is that we will be able to retain as much of it in terms of, the structures, the atmosphere, the love of neighbors and friends. However, we hear every day that there are those who are seeking to, develop multifamily housing, which is not something that we want. We want to keep our single-family homes, and we want all of our neighbors and all Altadenans to come back, and we know that is not going to happen because, the community has lots of seniors like me, and they won't be able to rebuild. Many of them don't have the support that is needed from family or friends. I'm very fortunate to have the support of my daughter, Lynette, and my son, Tommy, and other family members. So we are looking forward to rebuilding. Um, but that is not going to happen for everyone. So my greatest fear is that Altadena is going to change tremendously. And we moved there for the community that was there and the closeness of the community and the beauty of the community. I'm not really sure that I can answer that question, lessons that may have helped. Um, I'm not sure that I can answer that, but I do know what would have helped all of us is if there had been more communication about the danger that we were in. Excuse me. We did not get proper warnings that we should get out earlier. We didn't get warnings even up until the time we left. I understand that there were some warnings, I believe, closer to Pasadena, about 3 or 4 in the morning. But and then the fact that there was no water. It's very difficult to put out fires when you don't have water. So we just feel really disappointed that we did not get what we needed um, to help us through this, to help save our homes. Many people, died in the fire. That should not have happened if they had gotten proper warning and families had gotten proper warning, even if someone lived alone. If the families had gotten warning and even friends, they could have helped to save them. Some lessons that would help, that hopefully we're all learning as a community, is that our resources need to be, structured so that they're up to par at all times. And they were not, and I know that work is being done to improve that situation. Um, and for us, we probably could have left sooner. However, we did not know that we were in imminent danger because we've had fires, along the mountainsides previously, and never had to evacuate, but we were prepared to evacuate. This time we were not as well prepared as we could have been. So, for the future, we will certainly make sure that we're better prepared. My hope is that during the rebuilding, that homes will be made safer um, in terms of, being more stabilized for earthquakes, fires, whatever comes along. And hopefully, builders are learning some things. I understand that, some homes in Altadena had steel framing, but those burned as well. The steel even collapsed. So my hope is that we will all learn some different ways of building homes, and that we will remain a community that's committed to doing the very best that we can to maintain, that sense of camaraderie, friendship, and safety. I would like to just, say to people, Do your very best every day for yourself, your family, and your friends. Look out for each other. Be aware of your surroundings, and insist um, that our um, that our legislators, our fire department, police, all of those entities are well equipped and show that they care about us to keep us safe. But I think most importantly is being able to get back home, rebuild our homes, and continue to be good citizens and good stewards of our land and our community. Well, with future generations, for younger parents, I'd like to say to them, be involved in your child or your children's education. Always seek information from people and sources that are working with them. But to be involved is extremely important. Don't leave it, to the educators or anyone else to do the entire job. Be involved as a parent with your children from birth until they're out of college. And strive to just be your best at all times, to love each other, take care of each other. Well, we've lost basically an entire community. We've lost homes, we've lost restaurants, we've lost schools. I believe we lost 5 schools. We've lost so many resources that were, in our community that we could depend on. We hope that many of those will be able to come back, but the loss is the beauty of the land is no longer the same. It's not recognizable right now. And of course, when we rebuild, it will all look different. And we're hoping that it will be wonderful. That is our hope, that things will turn out to be better. Some people say we'll build back better. We will see. I hope that is true. But the trails that so many of us like to walk around JPL and all over Altadena, it's just so much hidden beauty, or there was so much hidden beauty there. And we hope that that will return. But we've lost tremendously. When, you drive the streets and the blocks are not recognizable. If you don't see the street sign, you don't recognize what street you're on, that's devastating. It's a very sad feeling to have that happen. I sometimes go and sit in my driveway and, to just contemplate, think about what we've lost. But before I leave, I start to, think about, well, the hope that I have that we will get back, and that I don't know how much better it will be, but we're looking forward to building back better. So for young people, as I said before, take care of each other, take care of your families, always stay involved in your community when it comes to making decisions. Attend school board meetings, attend city council meetings, just stay involved and know who's representing you. And then, of course, out of that comes voting. Be sure that you're voting for people who really care about you, and, that it's not just self-serving.